to you by the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Vikings, Packers. Vikings and Packers, there's money on the line. 23 hours away. All right, let's make some fucking lineups here. Let's try to beat these 20 maxes, move on to the 150s, be the Showdown master and the Showdown king until we figure out a fucking system that fucking works. Just gotta keep plugging away at it. Top 6 cards in the deck. Kirk Cousins, Jordan Addison, Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, TJ Hawkinson, Alexander Madison, with a deficit of $13,600. Let's make the winning lineups, shall we? Wait, Minnesota here. Green Bay here. Get this fucking notebook out of the way. Cracking outfits now. Packers here. Vikings here. Let's get started. Kirk Cousins completed 35 of 45 passes for 378 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception in the Vikings win over the Niners on Monday night. He also netted -1 yard on 2 rushes. After a lackluster showing in his first game without Justin Jefferson in Week 6 against the Bears, Cousins exploded for one of the best performances of his career considering the caliber of matchup. The veteran averaged a robust 8.4 yards per attempt, while displaying particularly impressive chemistry with rookie Jordan Addison and tight end TJ Hawkinson. The duo finished on the receiving end of 18 of Cousins' completions and compiled 209 yards in the process. Meanwhile, Addison secured both of Cousins' scoring tosses, which came from 20 and 60 yards out. Cousins' passing yardage total was the highest of the campaign and qualified as his 4th 300-yard effort as well. And his ability to thrive without Jefferson certainly raises his fantasy prospects going into a Week 8 road matchup against the Packers. Gordon raises his prospects. Jordan Addison is on the board. TJ Hawkinson is on the board. Jordan Addison brought in 7 of 10 targets for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Vikings win over the Niners on Monday night. The rookie paced the Vikings in receiving yards on a night when he was forced to exit the game for a time with cramping. Addison scored from 20 and 60 yards out in the first and second quarters, respectively, pushing his season touchdown total to 6. The fleet-footed USC Products night also served as his first 100-yard effort as a pro, raising expectations ahead of the Week 8 road matchup against the Packers that will once again see Addison take the field without Justin Jefferson. The fleet-footed Jordan Addison. Jordan Love completed 21 of 31 passes for 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception in Sunday's loss to the Broncos. He also rushed 3 times for 21 yards. Love hardly threw downfield during the first half, when the Packers' offense endured another sluggish start, scoring no points. The quarterback found more success afterwards, though, throwing a 16-yard touchdown to Romeo Doubs and a 4-yard score to Jaden Reed. While the latter play helped put Green Bay in the lead temporarily, Love subsequently threw an interception on his final pass for the second straight contest, resulting in consecutive failed attempts at game-winning drives. Romeo Doubs is on the board. Jaden Reed is on the board. The questionable Aaron Jones doesn't have an injury designation for Sunday's game against Minnesota, though head coach Matt LaFleur said Friday, that the running back isn't at 100% by any stretch. Jones will play for a second straight week, but may again be part of a timeshare or perhaps even the number 2 option behind A.J. Dillon, who had 17 touches for 95 yards in last Sunday's loss to Denver. In Week 7, Jones took 11 touches for 57 yards, and while it's certainly possible his role expands this week against the division rival, there's also a chance Dillon gets more than half the snaps and carries again. It's a tough situation with no clear answers for fantasy managers rostering one or both the Green Bay running backs. A.J. Dillon is on the board. T.J. Hawkinson doesn't have an injury designation for Sunday's matchup with the Packers. Hawkinson's availability comes as no surprise after the foot injury cost him a snap or 3 during the win over the Niners on Monday. He finished the game with a season high for catches, yards, and targets, pushing his per game averages up to 6.7 receptions for 55 yards. The volume alone makes Hawkinson a strong number 1 tight end for fantasy teams, even with his average depth of targets sitting at a career low 6.3 and his red zone target share a surprisingly low 110%. The latter number will slightly rise as the season progresses, particularly given that hogging wideout Justin Jefferson will miss at least 2 more games while on injured reserve. Hawkinson. Madison and Hawkinson. Addison, Madison, Hawkinson. Rushed 8 times for 39 yards and brought in 2 of 3 targets for 3 yards in the Vikings win over the Niners on Monday night. Madison outpaced backfield mate Cam Akers by 8 yards while compiling a team-high total. But the latter logged 2 additional carries. The Wick Road split has been more of expansive between the two in Week 8 against the Bears, when Madison had taken 18 carries to Akers' 1. Madison also could have improved his final line had he not been able to corral a third-quarter pass from Kirk Cousins in the end zone. But the two weren't quite on the same page. Whether the drastic change Monday night is indicative of what division of labor between the two might look like moving forward remains to be seen. But both backs will have an appealing matchup against the Packers' suspect run defense. On the road, Week 8. Cam Akers is on the board. Kirk Cousins is on the board. And there's your top 6 cards. Go to the bottom of the deck. I gotta put the foot massager on. My dog's a fucking bug. Old man Kane, Professor Kane. I live to become an old man. And I still remember being bar mitzvahed at 13. I think the edible's kicking in. Getting off the fucking oil, getting off the joints. Trying to only do edibles. We'll see. We'll see. Alright. Fuck all these guys without the cards. We need cards. We need fresh cards. Jalen Naylor is listed as questionable for Sunday's game at Green Bay. Naylor appeared to be close to coming back in Week 7, so it seems he has a good shot to suit up Week 8. If he plays Sunday, it will likely be exclusive. Fuck him. This guy, I jammed him into a bunch of lineups he did nothing. So I had to pull him out last minute. I ain't wasting no more breath, Jalen fucking Naylor. You gentlemen, nobody's got cards here. No relevance here. Nobody's here. Nothing to see here. Johnny Munt. Really? But I saw this asshole get in the game. Tristan Jackson reverted to the practice squad on Tuesday. Jackson saw time on both offense and special teams during Tuesday's win versus the Niners and managed to bring in his only target for 7 yards. The 25-year-old has now played in 2 games in a row and could be called upon again for the upcoming matchup against the Packers, as the Vikings only have 4 healthy receivers on their roster. Yeah, I saw this guy. The guy was in the game. I watched that one stupid play. Guang Yu, Knowles, Ham, fuck them all. Who's this? Emmanuel Wilson had 2 carries for 19 yards and 2 receptions for 8 yards in Sunday's loss to the Broncos. The Packers elected to manage the snaps of top running back Aaron Jones, and while A.J. Dillon wound up being the busiest Packer ball carrier on the day, Wilson did wind up with a career-high 4 touches. Wilson was effective Week 7, but remains the 3rd running back on the depth chart, and Green Bay could elect to give veteran practice squad member James Robinson a look at some point. That's 2 for Dillon. Aaron Jones is on the board. James Robinson still somehow in consideration. I don't think so. Was he down here? We just sort of skipped over him. James Robinson. Fuck it, I'll read this. Green Bay signed James Robinson to its practice squad Tuesday. Since being cut by the Giants ahead of the regular season, Robinson had worked out for multiple teams before Green Bay opted to bring him aboard. The 25-year-old began his tenure with the Packers on the practice squad, but he could be promoted to the 53-man roster ahead of Sunday's game against the Broncos if Aaron Jones isn't healthy coming out of the Green Bay's Week 6 bye. Robinson ran for 1,070 yards and 7 I read this. Fuck out of here. It's old news. He didn't get moved up. He's not getting moved up. But this Emmanuel Wilson was interesting. 4.7 to easily be 9 points. Next time, McBride, Degora. I think Degora's out of favor now, huh? Yeah, he ain't getting shit, though. He was something, he was somebody, now he's an afterthought. Fuck him. Olivier. Old fucking news on Olivier. Another one. Fits in you for 2 fucking points. It's not helping anybody. I'll take fucking Wilson over anything. Ty Chandler, he got in the game. There's nothing to report, though. 2 fucking points. Wait, Wicks. What we got here? Hey, Wicks. Here we go. Wicks. John Wicks. Dontavian Wicks. Caught one pass for 17 yards, rushed once for 1 yard, and completed one pass for 14 yards in Sunday's loss to the Broncos. Wicks played less than half as many snaps as 3 other Packer wideouts, but he did make a couple of plays while he was out there. He recorded 6 receptions for 85 yards and a score across weeks 2 and 3, but his total just 2 receptions for 27 yards in 3 games since. Still, he's in play. Brandon Powell, 4 receptions for 64 yards on 5 targets in Monday's win over the Niners. Powell played on 43 of the offense's 70 snaps and worked as Minnesota's 3rd receiver, with Justin Jefferson on injured reserve. Powell should see a similar increased workload this weekend at Green Bay. Mr. Powell. Packers D, Vikings D. Anders Carlson made 1 of 2 field goal attempts in both of his extra point tries in Sunday's loss to the Broncos. Carlson began his professional career by making 7 straight field goal attempts, but that streak came to an end Sunday, as he missed the 43-yard try late in the first half. He did make a shorter attempt late in the game and remains perfect on 12 extra point attempts. Carlson's success rate remains viable, but he is averaging only 6 points per game through 6 appearances. Greg Joseph, this prick was in the winning lineup, missed 1 of his 4 field goal attempts and 1 of his 2 extra point tries in Monday night's win over the Niners. Joseph converted field goals from 21, 20, and 54 yards prior to sending a 50-yarder wide right late in the 4th quarter. Although he misfired on a PAT, the Vikings still managed to pull out a surprise victory. Through 7 games, Joseph has now made 25 of 29 total attempts, registering 43 points. Luke Musgrave is listed as questionable for Sunday's game against Minnesota, with Coach Matt LaFleur suggesting Friday that he's been impressed by the tight end's progress. He's one tough sucker now. I don't think too many guys would have been able to come back that quickly from what happened to him. Eesh. Fantasy managers should view the tight end as a game-time decision ahead of Monday's 1 p.m. kickoff this Sunday. Considering LaFleur's optimism didn't extend to make any predictions about the tight end's availability this Sunday. Fellow rookie Tucker Kraft played every snap on offense last week after Musgrave's departure early in the 4th quarter of a loss to the Broncos. But that won't necessarily be in the plan if the Packers are forced to play without their starting tight end again. Musgrave was in a walking boot early this week before returning practice Friday as a limited participant. Ay. Tucker Kraft is on the board. Tucker fucking Kraft. Not Josiah Deguara, mind you. Tucker Kraft. Cam Akers rushed 10 times for 31 yards, brought in 2 of 3 targets for 30 yards in the Vikings' win over the Niners on Monday night. 1 game after logging just 2 touches over 9 snaps, Akers' involvement shot up to its highest since his arrival in Minnesota. Akers' receiving yardage total was also a season-best figure and allowed him to outgain Alexander Mattison by a 61-42 margin in total yards on the night. The productive performance seemingly sets Akers up for another solid allotment of touches in a favorable matchup on the road against the Packers, Week 8. Alexander Mattison is on the board. Jaden Reed was targeted 4 times and caught 3 passes for 21 yards and a touchdown in Sunday's loss to the Broncos. Reed technically was not intended recipient of his touchdown, as he hauled in a pass that was deflected by teammate Romeo Doubs. However, in the box score, he was credited with both the target and his first touchdown since week 2. Reed briefly left Sunday's game with a shin injury, but he returned and wound up playing under 50% of the snaps of plays run by the Green Bay offense. With Christian Watson coming out of Sunday's loss with another knee issue, Reed could see his role increase again in week 8 against the Vikings. So that's 2 for Dubs. Christian Watson is on the board, but he's banged up again. This guy's fucking bust. A.J. Dillon rushed 15 times for 61 yards and caught both of his targets for 34 yards in Sunday's loss to the Broncos. Dillon led the Packers in carries despite teammate Aaron Jones returning to the lineup. Seemingly on a snap count, though, Jones finished with 11 touches for 57 yards. Meanwhile, Dillon paced Green Bay in both rushing and receiving yards, also snapping a 9-game streak with under 4 yards per carry dating back to last season. Although Jones' workload could increase in Week 8 versus the Vikings, Dillon's consecutive contests with 75-plus scrimmage yards should keep him firmly in the backfield rotation. That is 2 for Jones. Meanwhile, I like saying that. All right, Mullins, Mannion, Go, Clifford, Hall, Osborne. Really? No news on KJ fucking Osborne? Really? Nothing to say about KJ Osborne, about his fucking 6 targets, his 5 receptions. This guy's under the radar. Nobody gives a shit, huh? All right. Christian Watson logged the full practice Wednesday. Watson came up favoring his right knee on the Packers' second to last offensive snap this post-Sunday to Denver. But after a few days to rest up, the second-year wideout is good to go following an uncapped session. Because of injuries, he's been limited to just 3 appearances this season, in which he's put up together an 8-143 one-line on 16 targets and also rushed once for minus 5 yards. Garbage. And finally, Romeo Dubs caught 2 of 5 targets for 30 yards and a touchdown in Sunday's loss to the Broncos. Dubs was awarded his score after he and the Broncos cornerback Patrick Surtain came down with simultaneous possession from the 16-yard throw during the third quarter. The wideout had another would-be touchdown bounce off his hands and into daymate Jaden Reed's on Green Bay's next drive. Despite his team passing and attack enduring growing pains under first-year starter Jordan Love, Dubs' 4 touchdowns through 6 games gives him decent value ahead of the Week 8 contest versus the Vikings. So Jordan Love is on the board. That's 2 for Jaden Reed. There you have it, kids. Let's give some steroids out. We got a couple of 1-point boosts and 4 2-point boosts. See if it helps. Still waiting here on fucking Sam Darnold. Driving me crazy. Driving me crazy. Who knew you're so lazy? There we go. All right. 20 lineups. No stacks. Optimal. 1 unique. Let's give out some boosts, shall we? Madison. Well, let's fix that first. 1%. 99%. All right. Hawkinson. Up to 15. Hawkinson gets a 1-point boost. Akers. 1-point boost. Kirk Cousins. 1-point boost. Alexander Madison, of all people. So not a lot of mentions in this particular report. Shocked that nobody talked about KJ Osborne. Maybe just no reporters feel like covering the fucking Twins anymore. The Vikings. Dubs. 2 points. Jaden Reed. 2 points. A.J. Dillon. 2 points. Aaron Jones, 2 points. He's good to go. James Robinson, I don't think that's happening. Yeah, we're not doing that. Tucker Kraft. Where's he at? Tucker Craft, 1 point boost. Christian Watson and Jordan Love each get a point. Ms. Watson. All right. It's a little boost. Now let's take a look at some possible captains. Remember, 5% on the captains. 95 on the max, of course. So that it can't all be the same captain. We want at least one captain for each one. Let's eliminate any non-possible captains. No Kraft, Ham, fuck Ham, Teray, Wilson, Degora, Olivier, Wicks, Chandler, Powell. Actually, Powell? Nah. Packers, Vikings, Carlson's, Joseph. Nope. Nope. Reed, yes. Dylan, yes. Osborne. Seems like they're kind of ignoring you, pal. Watson's back to full form. He's still the #1 target there. Osborne could be an outlier, but fuck it. Cutting him out. Cousins, Addison, Love, Jones, Hawkinson, Madison. Fuck Madison. Madison at this point is a fucking supporting player. Dylan could pop off. So I'm going to keep that. All right, in flex. Who do we definitely not want in any of these fucking lineups? All right, who's definitely keeping Tucker? Fuck Ham. Fuck Teray. Fuck Degora. Fuck Olivier. We'll keep Wicks. Fuck Chandler. Keep Powell. Packers, Vikings, Carlson, Joseph, Vikings, Musgrave. Keeping it. All right, kids. Optimize. Come on, come on, come on. Do 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 do. Don't hold back. Interesting. Love, Cousins, Madison, Watson, Dylan Powell. I like it. Let's see how they divvied out the captains here. Jordan Love, 8 captainships. Kirk Cousins only 1 fucking captain, really? Wow. Christian Watson, 3 captains. AJ Dillon, 2. Hawkinson, 2. Dubs, Cousins, Jones, Reed, and Addison all get 1. Very interesting. Out of the flex layout. Brandon Powell all over. Yes, of course. Hawkinson 14, Watson 12, Dillon 12, Love 11. All right, there you go. Cousins apparently is a supporting player, as well as Madison. Dubs and Jones 4, and then everybody who gets their complimentary 1. Aikens, Reed, Joseph, Addison, and the Packers. Very fucking cool, ladies and gentlemen. Let's download these fucking lineups. Let's load these fucking lineups. See, we got anything new on Sam? I mean, it's only 12:30, but you never know. Guess we're waiting here on Brock fucking Purdy. Hang on a second. Let's say, God forbid, I had to drop out of fucking. If I had to drop out of Sam Darnold. You're essentially fucked here. I should take a PJ. You're not winning shit with that. Where's Will Levis? Ooh, is he starting? Head coach Mike Vrabel said Friday that both Levis and Malik Willis will take snaps at quarterback. Oh, fuck off. Really? Fucking, what was this, college? Ryan Tannehill sucks. Vrabel made similar comments about the Titans quarterback situation early this week when Tannehill's status for Sunday's game looked to be in doubt. And the coach hasn't named a fill-in starter even with Tannehill having now been officially ruled out. Given that Ian Rappaport at NFL Network reported Wednesday that Levis is being prepped for the start and expected to see the bulk of the playing time behind center, the second-round pick out of Kentucky appears to be a higher percentage fantasy play than Willis, despite Vrabel's lack of commitment regarding how the playing time might break down between the two. Even if 2 quarterbacks don't alternate series and Levis does get a bulk of the playing time, the rookie could still cede snaps to the more mobile Willis when the Titans want to get more of a rushing threat on the field, complement lead back Derrick Henry. The uncertain playing time outlook, along with the fact that the Titans are likely to lean heavily on the ground game, makes Levis a low-ending lineup option at the best, particularly while all 32 teams are playing Week 8. Still, he's a leverage play. If fucking Darnold doesn't play, that's just basically who I'm filling the fuck in. Against your own defense. Well, you can just drop out of Pollard and move up. Yeah, that's probably fucking. Who else is interesting? Love to go Williams. Oh, there's Zach Wilson against the Giants. That could work. Just come out of your defense. Desmond fucking Ritter. Mac Jones against Miami. Pickett against Jacksonville. Could this be Pickett's day? It sure is fucking gonna be PJ Walker's. I know I'm off track here, but fucking wait a second. What's going on with you, Brock fucking Purdy? Purdy is listed as questionable for Sunday's game against Cincinnati, though head coach Kyle Shannon is optimistic that quarterback will clear the concussion protocol Saturday and start this weekend. Purdy entered the protocol following Monday's loss to the Vikings, and due to the quicker turnaround than usual for the Week 8 game, he initially didn't appear to be on track to be available against the Bengals. However, Purdy has made the rapid progress since being diagnosed with a brain injury, and he was cleared to return to practice Thursday as a limited participant after his concussion symptoms dissipated. He then took another step forward Friday when he practiced at full participant. In order to play Sunday, Purdy will still need clearance from an independent neurologist, something Stranahan expects to happen Saturday but can't actually be sure about. If Purdy isn't cleared, the Niners will turn to Sam Darnold as their starting quarterback heading into Sunday's kickoff. Ah, shit, I gotta wait for later. Alright, well. Can't do shite until later. I got a lot of goddamn Darnold going. I'm willing to go to Will Levis. I'm willing to say fuck it. I'm willing to say fuck it. Keep the fucking lineup and go to Will Levis. That's exactly what we're gonna do. I don't gotta fucking change a god. Well, here I'll change something. I ain't gotta change a goddamn thing. This one I can go to Jamar Chase. We come down on Kittle. That's doable. All right. Point is, we have a contingency plan. At 75 bucks, I'd be investing in fucking Will Levis. I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to say fuck it large. Will Levis to come out of the game of his life against the hapless Falcons. One second. Let's just say I went to Levis, right? And I came out of the Falcons. What would I need to get to Andrews? I'd need 800, 900, right? Shit, you could do it. You could fucking do it. Take the Broncos or the fucking Patriots D. You could do it. You dump out a Kittle. Go to Andrews. Point is, it's fucking doable. All right, no more panic mode if Darnold doesn't play. Yay! I like when we have a contingency plan. Let's load these fuckers. May fate and faith decide your fortune. So fucking annoying. It's one of these things you gotta sign out, sign back in. God forbid I can fucking leave a computer open for a little bit. Sign the fuck back in. Yay. I get it to text my phone or some stupid shit like this, right? No? Okay, good. I don't like to shut my computer off. So every now and then you run into a little bit of a snafu. Just enter the fucking lineups. Oh, you fucking cunt. The computer's trying to get me to shut down or restart just so I can fucking open these goddamn windows again. Is it the end of the world? No, it's just fucking aggravating. All right, people. Let fate and fate decide your fortune. If you want to smash a fucking computer into 4,000 pieces, may I recommend an HP? Peace, love, war, and all that other shit in between.